Hey, church, it's time for another Words of Grace Midweek Lift, and it's one of my favorite chapters in the whole Bible, Philippians 2. And Philippians 2, to me, the most important part of it comes in verses 6 and onward through about 18, where it says, "Have this same attitude in yourselves, which was also in Christ Jesus, who, although he existed in the form of God, did not regard equality with God something to be grasped, but he emptied himself, taking on the form of a bondservant and being made in the likeness of men." And I've actually written a whole paper just on that word, emptied himself. Kenosis is the term that we get from that, the removing, the emptying, the taking something. And I really like the way that Christian scholar N.T. Wright describes it when he calls what Jesus did the humiliation of pride, that Jesus was turning away from something that exalted him. There was something that gave Jesus exaltation in the heavenly realms, his status as God, his status as the divine, and he turned away from it. He walked away. He gave up the right to claim it and said, "No, I will be a servant. I will come as an infant child, as a person, as one who serves, as the least of these." And that is the model that we get. And in fact, what Paul's quoting here, most scholars believe this is actually one of the earliest Christian hymns. In fact, before they had the Bible, before they had anything each day to turn to and remind themselves of Jesus, they would have memorized, just like we know the lyrics to songs, they would have memorized this hymn in which they would talk about who Jesus was. And being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on the cross. And they would remind themselves, Jesus is someone who was by nature exalted. He was God by nature. And he took the humiliation of pride. He decided voluntarily to turn away from that which exalted himself to serve you and I. And that becomes the model of what we do. So if we had nothing else, if we had no church, we had no Midweek Lift, we had no Words of Grace, we had no Bibles, we just had the words of Christ that we had memorized, how important would it be at the center of our faith to realize that our calling as we follow Jesus is to step away from that which would lift us up and come below to serve others? That's exactly what Paul wanted the Philippians to do. Turn away from that which would make you important. Turn away from being first in the line. Turn away from being the one who has the most possessions. Turn away from seeking your own needs and put the needs of other people first. Get away from what exalts you and go below. Go down as a servant at the feet, washing the feet of those around you, giving to them, serving them. If we can do that every day, we won't have problems with arguments in church, right? We won't have problems with church unity. So there's my take on Philippians 2 as the midweek lift. So I hope that this sees you through the week, and I hope you have a great one, and we'll see you soon.